lack of love, the lack of trust. I'm American, I'm never at a lack for lust. The lust for love, the lust for lust. Self-indulgence is at a surplus. The never-ending war, the conflict. My niggas in the prison industrial complex. The politics of politics. A lot of talk, no accomplishments. Global warming, the ice melts. So many tears from Mother Nature, she's crying help. The world is cold, the sky it fell. We up in heaven, getting high as hell. Self-medicating, the pain we can't take it. Obama called for change, my niggas still waiting. My hands up, I'm giving up. Behind on rent, but you don't give a fuck. I wish that I could live by my solo. No concerns in the snow globe. White falling on my nose like cocoa. It's just the snow from the snow globe. Shake it, the snow globe. Shake it, the snow globe. No troubles in the snow globe. Shake it, the snow globe. Shake it, the snow globe. Shake it, no concerns in the snow globe. The prejudice, the ageism, homophobia is the new racism. The terrorists at home and abroad. Mankind, not so evolved. The mental health, the mental stress. Just had a teen tell me he's hella depressed. The economy, the mediocrity, we're all fucked. That's my philosophy. The water's tainted, the streets are laden with cops who use guns for paint brushes. They not pop, boom, boom, water paintings. Black and red, the shots, boom, boom, landscaping. God-forsaken, it's not you soon. Self-medicating, the pain, we can't take it. Obama called for change, my niggas still waiting. My hands up, I'm giving up. I'm innocent, but you don't give a fuck. I wish that I could live by my solo. No concerns in the snow globe. White falling on my nose like cocoa. It's just the snow from the snow globe. Shake it, the snow globe. Shake it, the snow globe. No troubles in the snow globe. Shake it, the snow globe. Shake it, the snow globe. Shake it, no concerns in the snow globe.
Sit with it. Sit with the pain. Sit with it. Let it run through your veins. Sit with it. Sit with the pain. Sit with it.
Sitting by the TV, reminiscing when it used to be easy. With a Christmas story on repeat, making my list for my nana, she's my genie. When I used to give a shit about a Christmas, Ninja Turtle G.I. Joe upon my wish list. Tell the cops stop acting like Cobra. It's what I'd ask from Nicholas if he existed. Here we go again, dealing with the same violence. We no longer have the option to remain silent, cause it don't make a difference if you stay quiet. This reminds me of my studies on the race riots. What am I supposed to tell my damn youth? How to handle the Blue Man Group. Even Olivia cannot resolve the scandal, cause you can't indict what you can't prove. Sit with it, sit with it, sit with it, sit with the pain, sit with it, sit with it, sit with it, let it run through your veins, sit with it, sit with it, sit with it, sit with the pain, sit with it, sit with it, sit with it, let it run through your veins. What am I supposed to tell my damn youth? How to handle the Blue Man Group. Another man with his hand on the handle only sees 3/5 of a man as he scans you. Another vigilante, another vandal, another cop with his slingshots of rubber band you. Another black soul born that you can't prove. Even camera phone evidence is substantial. Another visual, another candle, another brother portrayed as an animal. Another brother portrayed as an animal. Different brothers, same story, another channel. Another cop that's duty in Cancun, swimming trunks with sand in his sandals. You a damn youth, that's the damn truth. As I'm holding back tears in this damn booth, trying to sit with it, sit with it, sit with it, sit with the pain. Sit with it, sit with it, sit with it, sit with the pain, sit with it, sit with it, sit with it, let it run through your veins.
All right, everybody. We are here live for another dope episode of Let's Get Activated podcast. We got my special guest tonight for episode 99, the last episode of the year. We got dope MC, producer, educator, SoSoon in the building. How you doing?
Good evening. I am doing well. How are you?
Oh, doing great, doing great. We were just vibing out, the Snow Globe and Sit With It, two very dope tracks. Definitely love it. Pure hip hop, of course. Definitely got to let us know the creative process behind those tracks and the visuals.
Is that the first question? We just diving in like that?
Yeah, we going in. We are going in. We activated so soon. We activated.
First of all, the producer of that project, from which both of those songs came from, will be very happy to know that the show started off with those two songs, which were the singles from the project Involuntary Immigrant, which we dropped last year in 2021. And the album itself kind of helps to answer the question of what was the inspiration behind those songs and those videos. I was just thinking about what it means to be Black in America and in this world at large. And but particularly in America, I came across this reading some time ago when I was in college from an anthropologist and professor. And he talked about this theory he came up with called involuntary minorities. And it's like basically people who were brought to another place against their will. And so in that example, obviously, one of the most blaring examples would be African folks being involuntarily brought from the continent to the Western world of the Americas, the Caribbeans, et cetera, et cetera. And so the album kind of talks about the effects of, being an involuntary immigrant from my own, kind of lens. And so with Snow Globe, which my camera is like so crisp and clear, but it's also such a focus shot. You can't see, but I have my Snow Globe shirt on right here. Shout out to the designer on that. Amazing designer. It's how I felt at that time. It's how I feel on certain days where like I just want to be left alone. Like I just want to be able to kind of like, sure, let me peer out a little bit and see what's going on in the outside world, but let's keep all that out on the outside. Like leave me alone. I'm very much like I tell people all the time, I'm an extroverted introvert, and a lot of people who know me personally, if they haven't known me long enough, it's hard for them to kind of pin this notion of me being an introvert, because I'm very much like a high energy, outgoing kind of person. But man, I tell you, the older I get, the more I need to recharge that battery once I put that energy out there. So that's kind of like what Snow Globe is about. Just like all these things happening in the world, just leave me out of it for a moment because I'm fucking exhausted. And Sit With It was, I wrote that around 20. I know exactly when I wrote it. I wrote it I wrote the first two verses. That video is reflecting of the original version of the song, which was only two verses. And I wrote the first that version of the song in 2014, around the time that Eric Garner and Michael Brown were killed. And I was working in youth development at the time, and I remember going to work. We used to always have community meeting every week where we would gather the young people in the space. These are under-resourced young people between the ages of 14 and 24. We'd gather them in the center space area of the building and have a community meeting about whatever. It could be fun, it could be serious, depending on what was happening at the moment. And this was like, so Eric Garner had passed, and then I think like a few weeks or a month or so later, Michael Brown. And I hadn't had time to process my own emotions. And here comes my white boss, who I thought had my back, but she didn't have my fucking back, because she basically was leaning on me to lead the community meeting. And I'm just like, but I haven't had time to process my own shit. And so that was a very, that experience has kind of sat with me for some time. And that's what the song was about. Like, literally the second verse starts, what am I supposed to tell my damn youth? How to handle it, the Blue Man Group, you know what I'm saying? So and then the third verse, which you can go to the album on streaming on Bandcamp and listen to the what we call the movie version. My last job in youth development was working for an organization that taught filmmaking to young people within that same age group, different organization, but same age group. And I had a lot of jobs because it's nonprofit, and you just have one job in nonprofits.
Right.
But one of those jobs was I was the program manager for the mentor program, because every student in the different filmmaking classes was paired one-to-one with a professional mentor. And one of those mentors notified me that they were making a film about Eric Garner and asked me if I had music for it. Now, the weird part about this in hindsight is that I sent him a few songs. I actually sent him Snow Globe and Sit With It, the two-verse version. And I forgot, because it'd been so much time from the point that I wrote the song, and just it was unfortunately in my opinion, too lengthy of a process to finish that album. But so much time had elapsed that I forgot that song was written partly inspired by the death of Eric Garner. But I sent it to him, and he was like, "It's dope, but I need it to be longer because it's going to be in the closing credits of the movie, and it just needs to fill up that." And so it gave me time to kind of okay, this was originally written in 2014. I wrote the third verse around 2019, 2020, and it gave me time to think about, okay, what has happened in the last 5 or 6 years that is worth now kind of bringing full circle, whatever. And it was a very cathartic experience. So yeah.
Hey, I love it, and congratulations too on having it, being a film. Definitely a dope, meaningful track. And I noticed, like, you do a lot of work with the youth or people that's younger, because even in Snow Globe, I noticed the message at the end of it. You said everybody aside from yourself is under 25 who worked on it. Is that correct?
That is correct. They were young people that were mentees of mine from this same job. So I had a huge hand in the concept of the video. Like, the life-size snow globe was my idea. I've long envisioned having music videos that really truly reflect what's being talked about in the song, because I'm very much a storyteller, a visual kind of person. And like, it just was always weird to me growing up watching music videos. Like, I don't really watch music videos that much anymore, but it's just really weird to me watching music videos that might be like talking about a very particular thing, but for some reason we're like in the club in one scene and then we're like somewhere else in another scene. It's like, you could literally bring the words to life by kind of talking about what, like letting the visual reflect what's actually being discussed in this song. So that's something that was very important to me. And I had several of my mentees, they brought several of their friends on as well, but I had them to help bring the idea to life. So it's something that I feel very prideful about. So
you definitely should. I bet that was an experience that, they'll remember. As someone, even giving back and caring and letting them be a part of that.
Absolutely. I think if you ask them now, they're not the happiest with the end result. And I think we all know that it could have been better, but as I explained to them, you use these experiences to grow from it. And at the end of the day, you have something out that is your work and has your name on it. So, don't lose sleep on it. You know what I mean? So I'm really thankful to them for that. So
definitely, they did their thing. And I got to give you a shout out, just for the meaning of your name, sound of something out of nothing. That's dope, by the way. Very dope. And I kind of, yeah, I myself know the meaning. I read on it, but do you kind of want to, like, elaborate more just for the audience or anybody new to SoSoon about, why you came up with that?
Yeah, when I started rapping in high school. That was a lot of years ago, to like 98-ish. And at the time I gave myself the name Skills. And it was just the first initial of my first name, and for whatever reason the word skills. And then when I got to college, I started running into a lot of people at open mics and events that had different iterations of skills. And then also listened to a little bit more underground hip hop at that time, and came across artists who were more famous than I was with the name skills. And I just wanted something a little bit more unique, something that would be very difficult to replicate without, biting. And and I'm a big fan of acronyms. And so I was thinking about like what hip hop music in particular, the culture, but particular music, what it represents. And it's literally this idea of making something out of nothing. So, and then put the soul on it, sound of something out of nothing. So that's basically what that's about.
Definitely dope meaning. And you said, so, back in with high school or college is when you really started to, become an artist per se, or did you kind of tap into it at a younger age?
Yeah, I mean, well, the story I always tell is I was trying to find a way to roast him, but I can't think of it. I told you off air that I woke up from a snappy wappy about 45 minutes ago. So I'm like, I'm awake, but still waking. My mind is still waking.
Right.
But I won't roast this time. He deserves his flowers. So I'll give him some good flowers with no dirt in it. My cousin King Virtue, who's in the live right now, shouts to him. He was both the first person to tell me that I had no shot in a million years to be a professional NBA player. And also the first person who he might not have been the first, maybe he was, because I was still kind of like writing on the low, but we'll just say for the sake of this story and the history books that he was the first person to truly affirm my talents as a writer. I hadn't had any performance experience at that point yet, but he affirmed my talents as a writer. And then by the time when I was in high school, I was in a group. We put a CD together. That was cool. But college is when I got my performance experience, and that was the moment where I realized, like, oh, I don't know what I want to do with this, but I do definitely want to take it serious on some level. And then just with more performances, more opportunities, I realized that it was something that on some level I wanted to make a career out of. So.
Well, you're doing really well at that. And I've noticed, your performances are definitely high energy. The cadence is on point. Is that just from all the experience, practice, or where does that come from?
Yeah. Yes, that is where it comes from. The cadence came from one of the challenges that I had earlier on as a recording artist was figuring out the right moments to put inflection on my voice, like on end lines. Like, okay, this end line, I'm trying to emphasis on it. Do I go high or do I go low? And I would like record it and it'd be fine. And I'd go home and listen to it. I'd be like, oh, I should have went high on that. I should have went low. But I also, what I started to realize is that it was distinguishing me from the sound of others and how others sound in their recordings. And so I intentionally honed it as one of my tools. And then, the performance is like, Malcolm Gladwell, 10,000 hours for mastery. I don't think I performed a cumulative of 10,000 hours, but I know I performed probably close to 1,000 times in my life. And that is certainly what has, like put me in a position to feel very confident when I'm on the stage. So yeah, and I want to be clear about something. I tell my peers, my mentees this all the time. Like, confidence doesn't come without nervousness. Like, I still 20 plus years later, I still have moments where I'm like sitting in the audience or standing in the crowd or waiting for them to call my name, and I'm like nervous, and I know the songs well and all that good stuff, but I'm just nervous. It could be 10 people in the audience and I'm nervous. It could be 100. But that I also recognize that is a show of how much it still matters to me. So I think, like, if I go like a year straight performing and I'm not nervous anymore, then I might need to start considering wrapping up the career. So
hey, nothing wrong with nervousness. Look, I still get nervous. So, I mean, that just means you're still, like you said, you care about what you're doing and the work you put forth. So, that's okay. Sometimes it's healthy to get a little nervous.
Indeed. Definitely. Absolutely.
Definitely healthy. Now you gotta let everybody know because I should have added when I did the introduction, just your fashion sense. Because a couple of people told me, they said, wow, he's got a pretty, unique, intricate, sense of fashion. Like, where does that come from?
A couple of different things. I think that being a New Yorker is within itself a form of inspiration. And I mean, that's not to say that everybody walking around New York is as fly as me, but not everybody cares. That's the real story. I'm fucking around. The real story is not everybody cares. I care. One of the reasons why I care is because my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, was very much a fashionable person. When she passed away in 2005, one of the ways I wanted to uphold her legacy is by, like, being fashionable myself. And I would add that over time, the same organization that I worked for that inspired Sit With It, one of the populations that we served or that they served that I used to serve was LGBTQIA plus folks. And being so closely in engagement with them on an almost daily basis allowed me to critically kind of reflect on my identity as someone who identifies as a heterosexual male. And there's a lot of things that we as men have been socialized to believe you have to do or have to present as in order to firmly, stand in this notion of heterosexuality. But through kind of like debunking that, through learning through some of those young people, but also just some of the programming that was put on and, my adult coworkers and peers, it allowed me to really think about, like, how I look at myself. And from that came a letting go of this fear of, if I do certain things, wear certain things, that people are gonna question my sexuality or whatever, and just put me in a position where quite literally I don't give a fuck, because like at the end of the day, as long as you you can be a gay man and give me a compliment and I'm not going to be offended by it, as long as you respect my private space, the same expectations as I would have of a woman. I don't, just because you're a gorgeous woman doesn't mean you could walk up on me and start pressing me or grabbing on me. So same expectations on either side of the game. You know what I'm saying? And as long as that those boundaries of respect are upheld, I don't care what people think about. So I walk around like I don't have them on this evening because I just realized the camera's so focused on my face it didn't make any sense. But there's not many days that I walk out of the house without some of my grandmother's silver bangles on. And even that was a journey. Like I think, I don't know when I started wearing them, but I remember I would like wear one when I started wearing them, and then I'd wear like 2 to 3 on special occasions, and then it slowly evolved to like 2 to 3 on a regular basis, and then 5 on a special occasion. And then fast forward, now I'm wearing like on a day where I just don't feel like the process of putting them all on. A slow day is like 9, and I own almost double that. You know what I mean? So like the special occasion is wearing every one that I own, and then like a regular day is anywhere between like 7, 12, or 30. So for some reason I always wear an odd number. I don't know why, but I don't know. I prefer odd numbers. So it's either going to be like 7, 9, 11, 13, or something like that. So I wear very poppy colors. My partner, whose name is also Samantha, her favorite color is magenta, and so over time I just started enjoying wearing magenta and purple. So just colors that were traditionally considered girl colors. Like I just don't give a fuck. Like I almost wish somebody would question me sometimes. So but it's really not about, at the end of the day, it's not about people's perception of me. It's about like making myself feel good. It's about presenting myself in a way that like I want to leave a lasting impression on people, whether it is through my fashion and or it is through my performance. So, and usually I catch them with one or the other first, but usually one hooks them into the other. So I know what I'm doing in these streets.
Yeah, you're doing your thing. Look, it's a great look, by the way. Like, I don't know if you see the background, but I think, we have where you're kind of wearing those, bangles here in the background too on that photo. So yeah,
Word, indeed. Shouts to Mariana, a longtime friend of mine who did that photo shoot. So yeah,
yep. Turn out, really great. Look, awesome style. It's catchy and it's unique. So, it's different in a good way. So, gotta
indeed,
appreciate that. Definitely
indeed.
gotta appreciate that. Now, do you have? I was kind of reading up. Is there like a clothing line that you have, like a SoSoon line?
I had shot so soonish. I was rocking that through the pandemic, and then I realized that like that is not my thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's being an entrepreneur. One of the things that I had heard and then figured out the hard way for myself is that you really truly have to hone in on one thing, and the art continues to be that thing. I am gonna relaunch it, but be more intentional about the time and energy spent on like creating designs and putting them out and so on. Because what I was trying to do is make it like its own apparel line, sort of separate from me as an artist. But
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna focus on merch
Yeah.
and
Right.
then see if there's some success from it and then kind of reconsider. But I at this point I wouldn't go to apparel if I didn't have like a team of people to help me with designs and releases of new designs and building fans and making sure we're generating sales and all that good stuff. So but I am wearing Shop So Soonish now. I worked with a lot of amazing artists who helped me come up with a lot of very dope designs. And so yeah, like in 2023 we're gonna put some things back out with a rebuild of a new site and all that good stuff. So
Hey, definitely looking forward to that. And I must let everybody know, right now we're live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, CertifiedNationEntertainment.com. Also, audio replay is available on the Tattoo Shop Radio and Culture Shock Radio, powered by Zeno.fm. So, means we're going to get some streams off the music, that we played for you tonight as well. Now, before we get into, because first of all, I'm going to say happy belated birthday, November 28th.
happy belated to you, my fellow November baby.
November 5th, yeah. So
Word
look,
up.
you know how our people are. We celebrate for a whole month and some change. We don't care. But I think on Bandcamp on November 28th is when you released, the new album, right? Is that correct? So you
On the
released
day,
that
no, I
day.
actually released it on November 22nd. The
Okay.
goal was for it to go to streaming on the 28th, but a thing happened.
Uh, oh Lord. Well, close enough though, but it's Sony
Yeah.
Volume 3. Yeah, but before we get into that, I know with it being, this is the last show of the year, we're about to be in the new year. Do you want to reflect on, what 2022 has been for you, just like, different events, anything that really sticks in your head?
Yeah, first of all, happy 99th episode. I was gonna talk shit to you about not being 100th episode, but to be the sorry, my camera went out. I'll multitask and get that right back on real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I was gonna talk about not being 100th episode, but to be the last episode of the year and like the last episode within your first 100. That's still a huge honor, so I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Honored to have you on.
To answer your question in terms of reflecting on 2022, yeah, 2022 has been a really big year. I guess I'm just gonna go to my laptop camera because I don't know what happened. I accidentally touched something and now it wants to bug out. Sorry.
Oh, you good? Good. Hey, still hear you at least. So,
Yeah,
there you
there we go.
go.
Cool.
There you go.
So, and now you get a fuller view of
That
me.
looks that looks better, by the way. That's better.
You think
Yeah.
so?
Yeah, that's better. We got a fuller view. I think it's better. So continue.
Lesson learned. I'll use that camera like if I'm sitting somewhere, but I'm like standing somewhere right now. So 2022 has been a transformative year as an artist, in particular when it comes to the names that I, along with several of my peers, can tout that we've had the privilege of opening for and sharing a stage with. I did a lot of touring this year. Shout outs to Full Blast bookings for booking my friends and peers from Goat Squad for their summer tour, for their CL Smooth tour this November. We were actually on tour on your birthday, funny enough. I'm thinking about it now. We were on tour the weekend of your birthday, November 4th and November 5th. That was amazing. And then we're going to be on tour opening for Rod Digger in next month in January. And so, yeah, we've had the true privilege to share, like I said, share a stage with people who, like, I literally grew up listening to and quite literally never imagined being in such a close proximity with. And that's not to say, like, I think about when I want to frame that statement and by saying that the one thing I've been always clear about as an artist, not always, but for the vast majority of my career, is that success to me is not being a mainstream artist. In fact, I have such disdain for that for myself, because I just truly value privacy. And I couldn't imagine the life of, like, just going to a coffee shop or a restaurant and you're such a familiar face that you can't even have that moment with yourself or your peoples without somebody coming up to you, you know? So that's one thing I've been very clear on what I didn't want. In terms of what I've wanted, I've never really fully been, I'd say now I am, but like coming up, I never had I was never intentional enough to clearly think about what success looked like. And so every time something new happens, I just embrace it, thank the universe for it, and keep putting out the energy and the efforts to kind of, make sure that other things are going to continue to happen. But that would be the kind of biggest reflection on 2022. Not as much music was released, but I don't want to put too much pressure on myself with that, because 2021 and 2020 were cheat codes because of the pandemic. And there was like a perfect combination of things happening at that time that just allowed me to really lock in and get music done. So now we're on more of a regular schedule, quote unquote. I've had at least a project come out every year since 2019, so that's a win, and I anticipate more of the same going into 2023 and beyond. So I'm appreciative of Sony Volume 3 coming out and everybody who played a part in making that happen. So yeah, those are the things that I would. And this year also was kind of return to being able to do some lecturing. What do you call it? Like some one-off workshops or small series workshops or professional developments, all based in hip hop. Because we're back outside, and so that has also been truly a privilege. I just wrapped up a series of PDs that a good friend of mine contracted me for, and like we were literally like spinning the concept of professional development on its head. And so we went in and taught some very basic kind of tenets behind like hip hop lyric writing, but like using it to remix songs that already exist. And the teacher's end game was to do a small performance for their students. And so they had an event on December 23rd, and it was fucking amazing. It was the funniest part about it is like for a middle school in Brooklyn. And the funniest part about it is like I'm meeting with them once a month, September, October, November, and then twice in December. And like there was a lot of teachers who were very nervous. And one of the things we kept trying to express to them is that some of the things we're teaching you in this PD are literally the same things you're trying to teach students. Engaging brave space and stepping outside of your comfort zone and trying something new. And some of them weren't able to like embrace it, but the day the show came, like they were in. It was amazing. It was amazing, amazing, amazing. So those are just some of the things that I would say when I reflect on 2022, I'm very thankful for.
Wow. Well, you definitely had, a great 2022. I know 2023 is going to be, even better. That's why I say, and, I definitely got to salute because you got your GOAT squad here in the building. I mean, they're commenting like crazy. So salute to all of them. You got a great team of people behind you too.
Indeed. Shout out to all of them. Question for you, Samantha. I haven't used StreamYard in so long. Shout out to my bro, Damien. We are soon, hopefully, going to relaunch our show, The Framework, which we use StreamYard for. But I haven't been on StreamYard in so long. And so, like, I'm seeing the comments, but I can't comment. Is it because I'm not logged in?
Oh, yeah, because I guess because you're not logged in. You're like as a guest on stage. So like if you were using another device, let's say on your phone, you can
I could
comment
comment
back
as
at
a
them.
viewer.
Right,
Right.
on the YouTube, and then they'd see you. Yep, so that's how it is. So like if you were to do a message now, we have the private chat, which only you and I would see.
Right. Okay, cool. All good. Well, what's up to everybody? Gold Squad and not Gold Squad. Samantha, I know you're in here. Shout outs to you. City of Great, shouts to you. I just am acknowledging that I'm seeing the comments and I'm
Yeah.
not able to type, but I like when my colleague and I were doing our show, we'd be live co-hosting, like how you and I are side by side screen, and I'd be simultaneously commenting in the chat.
Gotcha.
So it's weird
Yep.
not to be doing that, but I just want y'all to know I see y'all and appreciate y'all for tapping in.
Oh yeah, they definitely see you. Like I put like a comment in the beginning, but I usually what I do, I'm focusing on the guests, you telling your story, but we see you all. We see all of you here in the building. We definitely appreciate you all. That's why I have all of your comments popping up as you do. So we are here.
Word.
Samantha says you can't do your usual trolling on here. I guess she says you a troller.
I pride myself on it. I just like to I like to go into other people's lives and see if I can throw them off by making silly commentary, and even sometimes doing it in my own lives. But I just don't have the capacity this evening, and I'm not. And at this point, I'm not about to log in on my phone. I got King Virtue sending me texts like, "We're getting a popping sound on your volume," and like on the low trying to figure that.
No, you're good. No, you good. No, I noticed the trolling too, because even on the IG, I noticed like your thumbs down, but I know it's a meaning or like a joke behind it. So I be laughing. It was like, no, I think not. And then I think like even on your performance video, you was like, this sucks, about your own performance with the thumbs down.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's hilarious.
Yeah, I you chose to open up the show with two very serious songs, and what I think that in my for lack of better words, older years, one of the things I'm trying to be very cognizant about is making sure that people don't listen to like the conscious music that I make and then falsely assume that like I'm just a monolith. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm actually. It's weird that I make so much conscious music because in my day to day, I'm actually very silly. If I'm in a decent enough mood, I'm more often than not, I'm silly. Like, and the things that impact me mentally and emotionally that I then reflect on in my music are like moments in time. But generally speaking, I'm a very like happy, good energy person. So, people have certainly for reasons understood made the mistake of assuming that I'm just a very serious, like militant guy, and that's far from the truth. So yeah, you see me doing shit like going on comments or going and post about myself where people are showing love, or like even you promoting the show and people like, yeah, I can't wait so soon. He's amazing. I'm like, nah, he's whack. He's terrible. What are you talking about? So
Yeah, I like it. Even the upside down story, I was like, this is the most, unique creative story I've ever seen, but it works. I said, people will look at it. It works. Hey, I'll take
I'm
it.
just random. I don't know. I have to time I don't know what I'm doing.
Hey, you never know. You got to try it,
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Absolutely.
So now we got to, now we definitely got to get to, the new album. Dope album, by the way. Dope album. I first checked it out on Bandcamp, which more people need to start supporting Bandcamp, because I noticed with that, there's no set prices. You can even pay more for the album, start showing these independent artists some support, by the way.
I love Bandcamp. I think, my entire catalog is on Bandcamp, and it's important that I distinguish when I say entire catalog. Every song, there's some standalone singles that I put out that are not Bandcamp, but every album, EP or LP that I've ever put out, which is 8, they're all on Bandcamp. And I just love it because not only because most of the money that I make from any purchase comes towards me, but they're just very intentional about like really trying to build a very niche community for independent artists to be able to make money, and versus these like pennies on the dollar for streams. And it's like,
Right.
it's, you know, you got to choose your battles all the time. I know some artists who choose to not put their stuff on streaming, and, you know, that salute to you for it. But I also recognize, as a fan myself, I use the streaming for the easy access. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if Bandcamp had the means to spend some money on really building out a streaming service, then I think that they would have it. I know there's a lot that would go into something like that, but it's also like rights to use music and making sure that artists get their percentage of streams, you know, all these different things that maybe they don't have the capacity for. But if they built that out, I'd at some point consider probably going full Bandcamp. You know what I'm saying? And just really like having to play a dual role of like artist, but also educator. Like, here's why I encourage you to not only buy my product through Bandcamp, but to use Bandcamp as a streaming platform, because boom, 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 boom. But for what it's worth, you know, I've seen and I've learned from my own, from watching my peers do certain things. There's a lot of great techniques that you can use to get the most out of Bandcamp and get people to buy music from there, you know. And in this case, with Sony Volume 3 having a delayed release by what wound up being 3 weeks. Sorry for the background noise. I'm in Hell's Kitchen, blocks away from a hospital. And so the sound of blaring sirens
is here
all day, every effing day. So sorry for that.
You good? We live. It's okay. We all right.
but and this is not the first time this has happened to me. The delayed release of a project onto the streaming platforms benefited me for Bandcamp sales, because people were tired of waiting, and then they decided, you know, I'm gonna go buy it. And then, but I'd also say that there was some folks who, like, when it came out on streaming, I assumed listened to it and was like, this is so good, I want to contribute purchasing dollars to it. So, you know, just trying to figure out that combination on how to make the most out of, you know, both things, you know, because I also acknowledge the fact that not everybody has disposable income to purchase. So, you know, there's just a lot of different nuances to it. But yeah, Bandcamp is just super dope in my opinion.
And you can get some gems on there, because I know there's a particular song which is popping up now, you know, 30-ish or 30s-ish, that, you know, can't be on the platform, you know, which you can explain it. But I gotta say, that's track number 8. It's on Bandcamp on Sony Volume 3, and that's my favorite track on the whole album, consequently. So you definitely got to break down that one. That was dope. That was dope. And, you know, definitely rest in peace to the great Horace Silver, you know, but I'll let you take it away. I'll let you explain it.
Yeah, I mean, so ish is the reason why I had a delay in the streaming release, because I had some advice from a close loved one. I'm not going to say any names, but it was like, you should just put that on the platform. And I was like, that shit is going to definitely get me in trouble. And so, but before it get me in trouble, when I tried to upload it, I'm trying to use regular language for those who are not artists. I know a lot of artists are in this chat right now, but people who watch it later may not understand the process, and so I'll give a quick breakdown. So as an artist myself, when I want to get my music onto Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, etc., there are a bunch of different services that are basically middle people, and their job is to, you send them the music, they take the music and put it on as many platforms as they have relationships with. And so they're like the middle people for that. And so when I uploaded my music onto my particular platform of choice, which is DistroKid, they quickly flagged that I was using a song that I don't have permission to use, because the as you mentioned, Samantha, Horace Silva is the jazz musician who was the head of that particular song that I use. And so, like, I didn't sample it, I rapped over the song, like literally the 9 or so minutes that my song is the same amount of time that the original song is, which is just a jazz instrumental. And so once they flagged it, I had to like start the whole process over, which is probably the most annoying thing in the world. You think I'd be able to just go and remove that one song, but nope. It was like, okay, abort project, start and re-upload everything from the top. And so that's that piece. But as far as the song itself, so literally, and I say it in the song, I it took me a decade to complete the song. I started writing it in my early 30s. I think I had the first verse done, and then I just was drawing a blank. And then a few years later, it popped back up on my mind. I was like, okay, let me see. Okay, well, I'm a few years older now. Let me see what I can reflect on at this stage of my life. Wrote that verse and then drew a blank again. Knew it wasn't a complete song yet, but didn't know what I need to do to make it one. And then as I was wrapping up Sony Volume 3, I was like, this would be a great time as I'm ending my 30s to finish this damn song. And I had a lot to say, so I was able to go in and do just that. And then you have that, speaking interlude. I was just envisioning like a live performance of it with a live band and having that moment where just like, like in jazz music, you have your little, interlude section where several of the musicians get their solo for like 8-16 bars, depending on, the song. And that's what I was envisioning kind of, so, you got your two verses, you got your like a million minutes of me just rambling on, and then the third verse or whatever. And I also like, I also think a lot about the first time experience for the listener, because some of my fondest memories of music is like, oh, the first time I heard this song, the first time I heard that song. And I like to like throw people off, give them, throw them in a loop, give them, just make things interesting. And so what I intentionally put the speaking interlude in the middle, one, to reflect and talk in a way that people could understand what I was saying. And two, because I wanted them to like it, what I was envisioning is that like somebody might hear the two verses, hear me talk and be like, okay, you're talking a lot. I don't know that I'm entirely interested in this. I'm gonna end it and just say this is a good project. It's the last song on the project. And then like these are just the random scenarios that play out in my mind. And they're like on social media and somebody like Samantha is talking about how much they love the song. That third verse is crazy. Third verse, what? And then they go back and they're like, oh, there's a whole verse in this.
Yeah.
Like I remember listening to Things Fall Apart from the Roots, Black Book being one of my favorite artists. And I didn't know until like 2 years later that there was a whole extra song at the end, but it was like that now old school kind of like the final track is actually like 8 minutes long, but there's a long pause. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm not even paying attention to the fact it's 8 minutes long because it's the last song, and then it just like stops for like 3 minutes of silence, and I'm like, all right, well, what am I doing? And I'm not clever enough to realize. Shout out to Regular Cat. He just put in the chat like a Marvel Easter egg. That is precisely what I'm talking about. Like the people who like a decade later, the MCU has been flourishing for over a decade at this point, and you'll still walk into a theater and you'll still see people walking out in the credits. It's like, you first experience? Okay, cool. Yeah, I get it. We all have to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But this is very much that. So thank you for that, Cap. And yeah, so this is the same kind of thing as like that kind of like Things Fall Apart experience,
Well, it was definitely a great experience, relatable, because I know I'm 41 now, but I know at 30, I thought, oh, I know it all. I'm settled. Everything's good. Nah, I was still learning through all my 30s. I really didn't start to figure things out and really get into everything I'm doing now until my late 30s. So that song was so relatable. And then the talking, it was perfect. You did your thing. So I need everybody to go on Bandcamp. That's the only way you're going to hear that track. It's now on all the streaming platforms, but just go on there and take a listen to that, track number 8. That's so dope.
Yeah, and thank you. I'm glad, because it's one of my favorite songs from that project. It's weird because when I hear artists talk about their work, I feel like maybe I'm thinking about like mainstream artists. I feel like maybe independent artists are more real, but like I have no problem saying like, look, I am happy with this project. However, my favorite songs are, and so for this project, Endgame and 30ish are my favorite, because when I'm realizing now at 40 is that what's work. I'm trying to pull back a little from the quote unquote conscious music. But what I feel like is working really well for me is excuse me, the reality rap. And that's what those two songs reflect. Like me really digging deep and talking about what the fuck is going on in my life at this moment. And so 30-ish or 30s-ish or 30-ish is special because I didn't plan for it to be like I'm gonna take a whole decade to finish a song. It's not the only song that's taken, you know, an extended period of time to write in my career, but like that being about my life at those different moments, it's like my early 30s, my mid 30s, and then now I'm like months away from wrapping up this amazing decade of life. So what the hell am I talking about now? Like, you know, I'm still fucking working class. I'm an even more amazing artist and a more mature and amazing human, but still trying to navigate capitalism and, you know, the societal expectations that people put on you. Been with my partner almost a decade, and fortunately we don't have a lot of pressures, but there's those few people in and out of our families that are probably looking at us, and particularly me, because you know that's part of what comes with being a man in American society. Like, when the fuck are you gonna put a ring on her finger? You know what I'm saying? And you know, but and that in itself is fascinating because it suggests that those kind of decisions are unilateral. But fortunately, in my relationship, this is a collective decision that we've had. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but my point is that being able to just have the time to reflect, and so like the song now is forever a time capsule of my entire 30s, which I think every decade of life has gotten progressively better for me personally, and I hope and anticipate that my 40s will continue on that trajectory. But I'm very thankful for the last 10 years of life. It's had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and I was able to reflect on several of those things in that song. So I think it's a very special song. So
yeah, most definitely. You know, so everybody, I'm gonna tell y'all again. I know the album is on all streaming platforms, but go to Bandcamp and definitely take a listen. You know, that's the only place you're gonna hear it. Song number 8. That's like the Marvel Easter egg, as Kat was saying earlier.
Right. Absolutely. And in fact, what I would say is if you have not listened to Sony Volume 3 yet, and you're just hearing this conversation about this particular song, and you're like, okay, maybe I want to listen to it because the way they're talking about it. If you DM me on IG SoSoon, or if you hit Samantha up, for those of y'all who are here on her behalf, and because you're huge fans of the show and the podcast, Samantha, if you don't mind forwarding those queries to me, I have free download codes for that song in particular. So you can go on this Bandcamp, redeem a free download code, and then just get the song, you know?
Hey, I got you. No, I don't mind at all. You know, look, this is what Activated is all about, is you getting your shine, you know, people knowing your story, you gaining more listeners, followers, fans, whatever you want to call them, more people to tap in. So definitely my pleasure. They asked me, you know, that I will forward it over to you. So that way you can definitely get them that information. And his IG is right here at SoSoon. Simple. Can't miss it. You know, definitely. No problem at all. And I also got to, you know, tell people about your YouTube page too. First of all, I just love how you have the videos where you're kind of explaining some of the songs too.
I got to finish that too. Yeah, I gotta finish that. The end of the year, you know, I'd love to hear what you think about this as a November baby. The end of the year becomes very exhausting, and for some silly reason let me not say that. It's not silly. I totally get it. It just sometimes can be a little bit overwhelming. So like, I just really love celebrating my birthday, and I especially love celebrating my birthday because I have to compete with this shitty holiday Thanksgiving. And I say shitty because of like what the true history behind it is me being militant, right?
Right.
But you know, obviously we remix it and make it work for us, and so, you know, but like I have, like, as a lifelong New Yorker, I have so many transplant friends, and every freaking year my birthday comes up, I'm one, trying to figure out what I want to do, and two, when I want to do it. And usually I'm celebrating my birthday somewhere weeks before the actual day if I want to do something with a lot of people, because I know that my transplant friends are often going to their respective homes and whatever. It just becomes exhausting. And then the most annoying part is that, like, you start to get all the Christmas decorations and music in the stores and celebrations right around like that end of the November time, and that's when my birthday is. So I'm like competing with these two holidays to like really just kind of be like, this is my fucking time. You might enjoy these holidays, but fuck them both as far as I'm concerned, especially when it comes to celebrating me. And then what happens as a result is I exhaust myself. And so like I saw, for example, Samantha, that you were I know this of you because I've been following you since like I want to say earlier this year. I've seen some of the shows. I was here live in real time when you interviewed my cousin King Virtue, and you're an amazing researcher, right? And so like I wake up one day, I see my IG notifications flooded with Samantha Lev, like this. And I'm like, oh, she's doing her research. Okay, whatever. Then I go to my YouTube and I see Samantha like this. And the thing that was standing out to me is like, fuck, man, I was supposed to finish this top 40 in my 30s and I haven't finished it. But it's because I've just exhausted myself with trying to figure out how I wanted to celebrate my birthday and putting out Sony Volume 3. And then we was on tour the first weekend in November, and that just kind of set everything back because then I had to play catch up with like work stuff and other personal life stuff. And like here we are in Capricorn season, I still haven't finished my thing. And I feel bad because I'm not trying to disrespect Capricorns. I'm not trying to extend it. So I put one up today. I'm going to do the last 4 before the new year and just call it a wrap. It just becomes an exhaustive time of the year. And I have to figure out how to like do a better job of like celebrating, but not in a way that exhausts me to the point where I'm like, I don't want to touch IG, whatever. So,
it's not, well, for me, to answer your question, it's just nonstop. I'm just used to it. They're like, what's sleep? I have, I have a team of artists to take care of, you know what I'm saying? So that, that's, different personalities, individuals. So you handle all of those, love them, by the way, love my certified team. People outside of certified, people like you support, just seeing, the great work that you're doing, the show, the writing, the publicist work, all of that. It's just like, I guess I eat, breathe, sleep, all of it. I'm just so accustomed to it, but I love doing it. So I guess that helps, that helps me. Like the birthday celebration. It's funny you mentioned that because this year was the first time in many years that I had like a celebration with a lot of people. And it so happened my birthday. Yeah, I fell on a Saturday. I recently moved back to the East Coast. A lot of my certified team is here. So they threw me a party. It was great. We had a good time. But why was I still working? When I woke up on my birthday for the party, I was still working. Like City put a whole birthday thing, like, okay, Chief Brand Officer, we appreciate you. Happy birthday. Take a rest. I don't rest. They're like, do you ever take a break? Not really. Not really.
See, that's the difference between you and I. I take breaks. I just, I like, it's like I want success. And like I said earlier, I have a better sense of what it looks like now than I did a decade ago, certainly 2 decades ago. But I also like, and I'm very passionate about what I do. And sometimes I just need a break. Like human interaction is very challenging for me. It looks very effortless when you see me in action. But like I said earlier, we'll do a tour and I'm like, leave me the entire fuck alone for at least a week. Like, just don't talk to me. Don't call me. Don't text me. And if you call or text me, don't expect that you're going to, like, there might be 3 people on this planet that could call or text me and have like a 7 out of 10 chance of actually getting a hold of me within a 24-hour period. But other than that, like, it's a very challenging balance. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is. It can be. And I'm a Scorpio, so we're introverted too, believe it or not. Like, yes,
absolutely.
I'm outgoing when I need to be, but I can still work in an introverted way too. Just go off in the corner, still working though, still typing or writing up stuff. It never ends. I'm like, maybe one day I will vacation. I think when I see what I want to see or see some of the results, then I might take a break. But then it's like, I take a break, I know I'm gonna get a call. They're gonna be like, "Where's she at?" They're gonna call the to get the FBI, CIA. They're like, "Wait a minute, where's Sam at? I haven't heard from her." So I don't know. I don't know.
Too real, too real. My partner who gave you some kudos in the chat. You
Thank
just put
you,
it up on the real
Samantha.
time.
Hey, twin
Um,
Samantha. Yeah.
she certainly helps balance us because she's also very cognizant of the importance of just kind of like taking a moment to pause or whatever. And she's passionate about travel, which I've inherited that passion as a result. So we definitely have those moments where like and that's again, like you said, it's not to say like literally we did a destination wedding for one of her college friends in May, and I had my laptop. I had to record a verse for a cipher, which was dope because like this is like that's the kind of life I want to live. I want to be able to be on vacation
Yeah.
and not be like overkill, but be able to be like, okay, there's a thing that I have to get done as an artist, and okay, I got the portable equipment and I have the capacity to do it, so let's make it happen. Um, and so, but then I had like my actual work stuff, and that was a lot more annoying. But it was also like right around the time I had gotten a promotion, so there was no such thing at that moment as like, oh yeah, no, I'm on vacation, I can't do this. It just wasn't an option. But yeah, my partner, like I said, she really is equally mindful of just trying to be cognizant of taking a moment to pause because I when I go hard, and then I have to like find that balance between like going hard, getting shit done, but not burning myself out. So
Yeah, it's a balance, and definitely salute to her for, helping you, find that balance too. I mean, I kind of got that balance, but I could still see myself vacationing on the beach, still on my phone doing something involving work. I could just see it. I could see it. I just know myself, you know.
women are monsters, y'all, and I say that in the best of ways. Like y'all just if you want to put that effort in, it's not to say guys can't, but y'all just have a different switch where it's just like I'm just not gonna stop until this shit gets done. Period. So I like I said, as a 40-year-old version of myself, when I try to be very intentional about those moments to like go in and then they usually lead to like a period of rest and shutdown. like I said, leave me alone. So you know.
Yeah, well, you probably it's good that you're getting some rest because I know next year is going to be a busy year for you. Welcome to the 40 club because you're about to be
Right,
busy in your 40s. So
right,
I get it,
right.
I get it, I get it. I saw you got some performances coming up in January too, right?
Yep. We have the Rod Digger tour with Full Blast. Myself and my Ghost Squad partner Tony Dimes, as well as King Virtue. We're gonna be doing 5 nights of touring starting in Brooklyn on Wednesday, January 18th. It's either Wednesday or Thursday. I think it's on Wednesday. And then like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Connecticut, I believe are the states. And so yeah, we're starting off very aggressively. So like I still have to finish putting together the itinerary. Let me be real. I have to start putting together the itinerary for lodging and all that stuff for the team. And but we got things doing, and I'm behind the scenes. I'm cooking up the next project already, and so yeah, it's gonna be another busy one, but busy in a good way. So I'm looking forward to it. Goat Squad. We have we have some restructuring to do, and just some intention setting to do. So we have a big meeting coming up in the next week. So yeah, a lot on the plate, but all good, all good.
Awesome. Look, I'm looking forward to everything that you guys, got going on. You got also everybody follow, the official goats too on IG. Follow them. That's the whole goat squad, and they definitely, all of y'all get, my respect. And I've said it before, all of you guys are welcome on Activated. You're even welcome back, anytime so soon. So you already know how it is.
Can I come back for the 100th episode? No, I'm joking.
I mean, you could look. Yeah, I'm still, laugh. I'm still trying to plan it out. I don't know if I should just do a bunch of people getting like the StreamYard link and doing the pop-ins, just like a
Okay.
celebration.
All right.
So I might, that might be a good idea. I might just be like all my previous guests, just do a pop-in, say what's up or something.
I almost had a hard time believing that because let's be clear, I'm putting the business out not in a bad way because it's not bad things. Actually, it just makes you look even better because sometimes people do these kind of things, whether it be podcasts or interviews or whatever, and everything is just like on the fly, and that's clearly not how you move. This interview was scheduled like October. This interview was scheduled in October. Like, you're planning your interviews months out. So when you said, I still don't know what I'm going to do, I was like, you are pandering to the audience right now, Samantha. You're lying. But this makes sense. What you're saying makes sense. No, it makes a ton of sense because it is the 100th episode. And I can understand that, like, you are not entirely sure exactly what direction you want to take. I just, in my true full silliness, and my partner Samantha would suggest that it's because I'm an only child. I would immediately jokingly say, well, just bring me back and we'll have back-to-back episodes. But that was straight silliness. But if you do that idea of like just bringing as many of your first 99 back, then or even like your guests from 2022, I will definitely pull up. So, but even if you don't, if I'm not there in the studio, I will definitely be there behind the scenes supporting, because that's a huge deal. Like the consistency, the work, the scheduling, all the things that it takes. Like, I know of it, the consistency I'm still building on, but all the behind the scenes that it takes to do what you do is not to be taken lightly. And I'm certain that you and the whole certified team are going to see the success you want, because y'all truly put in the work. So I'm just privileged to be a part of it. So thank you.
And truly appreciate it. And the funny thing is, I have, more, guests scheduled all the way until almost May. But it was just the one that, So I always book out months ahead because, it was
I'm not shocked.
But it's like, I don't know, some of episode 100, I'm just kind of,
right.
tossing, because I'm very humble as well. So I'm like, should I do a big celebration? And I'm like, it is 100 or, so I'm still trying to figure it out. I'll have it figured out in a couple of days. I'll have no choice because then I got to make a flyer and everything. Cause then I got to do the promo and all. It's a process. It is a process, you guys. Like, and this is just the podcast, that's just.
Right. It's one arm of the entire operation.
It's one arm of the entire thing. So, but we did have this one, planned months out, and it was like, King Virtue, he hit me up. He's like, did you hit up SoSoon yet? I said, well, we scheduled it. I was like, I thought you was going to hit, because I was trying to, follow the proper chain of command. You know what I'm saying? I was just, since he had reached out and all that, I was trying to, but I don't know.
No, that makes sense. But for the record, he's not the boss of me. He's just my cousin who makes it for me. He's not my boss. No.
So, but I was, trying to do that. But we made it work out. Then I reached out to him, reached back out to you. We had the dope picture, and we were on go with the flyer. So, and we were working.
Yeah.
I said that man probably like, dang, every morning I gotta wake up and I'm tagged or something.
No. I did not, because I was in rest mode. And I didn't do as good of a job as I should have to like make sure the word got spread. Like, I was DMing folks and giving them advance notice. And one of my good friends, we call each other twin because she's your age, but we share the same birthday. So we're literally a year apart to the day.
Wow.
And she hit me up. She saw the promotion and she's like, can you please remind me? So I hit her up. But no. I like I said, I'm an artist, but I've also done the work of, putting on shows, framework. I hosted college radio. I hosted online radio years ago. And so I understand what it takes to promote and get the word out. So no, I was in no way shocked or annoyed or anything like that when you were tagging me. I was like getting them, like saying to myself, all right, I hope that when Samantha sees me reposting and sharing, that she thinks that she understands that I'm doing my part. Out there. Like, I'm not in the background like, it's about me, so I don't got to do nothing but show up, So that was what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking about the fact that you were posting and promoting every day. You told me literally last week, like, look, it don't stop. It's a holiday and it don't stop. You said it, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta.
Yeah, because it was on Christmas. It was on Christmas when I posted the flyer too. It was like, dang, told you. I didn't lie. Still working on the holiday.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I hope, the joy of doing that is, just to hope that people are already tapping into you ahead of time before you even get on here. That's the whole point of it. That's even after this,
Right.
after this, after we're done with the live streaming, people are going to go back, watch the replays on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Certified Nation Entertainment. They're going to listen on the radio, the Tattoo Shop Radio, and Culture Shock Radio. And you're going to see me tagging clips in the stories, putting it on
Absolutely.
TikTok. So it's still going to be, good promo for you.
Absolutely. And I'm going to be doing the same. I'm going to be extracting clips from it to repost and promote it. So absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to have IG lit. IG is going to be lit later on this evening.
Absolutely.
These clips already, for sure, for sure. But here we go on a whole rampage here. See, it's just this is the vibe, y'all. This is the vibe of Activated. This is just dope conversation and all of that, for sure.
Absolutely.
So we know that 2023 is going to be, a great one for you. Definitely, like I said, got my 100% support. Now I'm going to ask you like a deep question here, a deep kind of final question for you.
Okay.
What legacy does SoSoon want to leave behind?
So I know that when you had King Virtue, I actually, so I was like I had it on mute at moments. I was like multitasking, doing other things, and then I was like actively listening. And I'm sure you asked him a version of this question, and I'm sure he talked about what he calls his digital legacy. This notion of like when it's all said and done, if he quits tomorrow, if he passes away, when he passes away, I don't mean to be morbid, but just that like his goal, his purpose is to make sure that like if you go to streaming and you just stumble across that, it's there because it's there for the end of time, unless you have some things that mess with like streaming bylaws, like not clearing samples and stuff like that. But that's not his case. I'd probably be more likely to get in trouble for that than he would. But for me, my legacy, I don't know why this is a difficult question for me to answer because I talk about legacy all the time. I feel like it matters more to me than it matters to King Virtue. That was the troll right there. That was the troll. It matters more to me than him. I think we have different definitions of what matters, but I don't think it matters more to me than him. But I figured it out how to get him before I got off of this live. To answer your question, my legacy is I want people to know that like against the odds that I chose my passion over anything else, and that I lived a life of passion and hip hop creation, producing for clarity, because some people and I get it. Some people shut up. Sorry, sorry, I couldn't help myself. Some people.
That's gonna be a soundbite now. Oh, that was great.
They listen too. No, I'm joking.
I love it.
I can't help myself. I'm sorry, Sam. I truly can't help myself. I know the minute we end this and I walk out of the room to go to the living room where my Samantha is, she's gonna be looking at me like, I don't know, something is wrong with you.
No, that was great. That needs to make it into a special highlight reel. That's gonna go down in history. Look, she's already on a good answer and a hot mess. That was a first time for Activated, everybody. See, he is activated. He's feeling it. That was great.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Going back to the answer to your question, when it's all said and done for me, I just want to like know that I lived a life of passion. Like I know that I have so many friends and peers who at this stage can give an absolute fuck about what it is that I do as an artist, because in their mind, if you're an artist, success, the only marker of success is that you are so successful that I cannot not see you. Like, you're on the radio, you're on all the major platforms, you have 1 million followers, you are certified blue check on Twitter and Instagram, you know, whatever their definition of success is for an artist. And I have long erased that notion from my mind. Like, for me, the fact that, like, there's these moments, like, if since you asked a deep question, I will switch from the very silly to the very serious and be very vulnerable and tell you that in this very moment, I do not have a job, right? And if I didn't have a supportive partner, I'd be shit out of luck right now. I didn't think I'd be able to leave my job the way I did, but shit was getting really real. And in my mind, in the way that I want to live my life, it wasn't even worth staying around. And my partner is 100% supportive of it. That doesn't mean I'm about to just be bumming it out for like months on end, but like, she's just like, I got you, I got us, figure it out, but I got you, right? She's not putting pressure on me, whatever. And this is not, I'm not at that point yet as an artist where my artistry generates enough revenue that I can, you know, contribute to my portion of our living expenses. I get paid for some of what I do, but not all of what I do, and that's just the real of it.
Right.
But I'm first of all, I'm thankful that I have somebody who really understands what I'm doing and how important it is to me, and actually sees the bigger vision, the bigger picture, because it's not just the creative capacity. There's so many other nuances. Like I said, there's the production, there's the teaching, professional development, doing workshops with young people, lecturing at colleges and universities, all these things that I never envisioned when I first started this, right? And those things generate income, and I'm thankful for those opportunities. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I just want to know that, like, I gave everything I could to trying my damnedest to fulfill what is passionate about me. And a lot of that just happens to be grounded in hip hop culture. It has transformed my life. It has brought me to physical places, mental and emotional places that I never envisioned. It's introduced me to amazing people. Like, I wouldn't know my partner if it wasn't for hip hop. A lot of the people who are in this live, I wouldn't know, including you being on the show right now. I wouldn't have this opportunity if it wasn't for hip hop. The only person, honestly, that only people who are in this live right now who I know, not only because of hip hop, but have a hip hop relationship with them, are King Virtue, my cousin, and Tony Doms, his best friend from college. I knew them. They knew me when I was still a sapling as an artist.
Right.
But they know me beyond hip hop, right? Everybody else I know because of hip hop. And I'm very thankful to this culture, to this music, that it has introduced me to so many amazing people and brought me to so many different places, put me onto opportunities I never even fathomed could be real. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the legacy. Like, just being able to say that I have the privilege to, like, do something that I'm passionate about, even through the ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? So,
amen to that. That's a good legacy. I feel that. And, you know, shout outs to you. You know, mental health is most important. So I always say, hey, life is short. We don't know when we're going to go. So a certain 9 to 5, if it's affecting your mental or your physical health, it's just not worth it. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. And really quickly, I know we're wrapping up, but I just want to very quickly say something at that point. That notion of, like, we don't know when our time will be. That's what the Sony project is about. It was about, or the Sony series was about. Sony Quarantine, co-executive produced by King Virtue, is the only of the projects affiliated with the Sony series that is 12, 13, Virtue. How many songs in it? You can put that in the chat. Thank you in advance. The only project that is all original and was started and ended within a time period of under a year. Everything else, the original vision for the Sony series was to release music that was like sitting on my hard drive, but still good quality, but was originally supposed to be part of this project, and then that got restructured or just got scrapped for whatever reason. And over time, like Sony Volume 3 has, after Sony Quarantine, has the second most amount of like new songs. So like Endgame was written this year, 30-ish or 30s-ish was written this year, Talk My Shit was written this year, and maybe one other. But all the other projects were basically like old songs I had, but were not out yet, but were still good quality. So like I totally relate to King Virtue's digital legacy idea, just making sure it's out there. I don't care if 1, 1,000, 1,000,000 people hear it. It's out there, and it's just so fascinating how the entry point for people when they find me and how they find me. They might have watched Regular Cat and he's interviewing me, or he's playing my music in the background, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, I need to hear this song," and then they go through the catalog and find something else out. They might watch this show on a playback and sit with it in Snow Globe music videos, and or what you're gonna play at the end, and be like, "Oh, this guy's good. Let me listen to his other music." So the entry points are all so varied, and so to make sure that it's at least out so that they have the opportunity to listen to it, I totally relate to what King Virtue talks about when it comes to digital legacy. But as far as Sony relates, the whole premise of it is to release unreleased music. That's what it's been about. So, and I just wanted to do that because I was doing it right before the quarantine, but especially when the quarantine hit, it was like, nah, I wouldn't leave it to, if I went before Samantha, I wouldn't want her to have to think about the process of like, what do I have to do to get this music from his hard drive to what site was he using to get it on the streaming platforms? That's not for her to have to worry about, and I don't want it for her or my mom or whoever. I don't want it for any of them to worry about. I just want it out. You know what I'm saying? So that's when you talk about life is short and we don't know. That's why pursuing your passions for me is just the utmost important thing when it comes to thinking about my legacy. And being the flyest motherfucker you might have ever seen in person, that's also important to me. So
hey, there you go.
On the award shows and all that, and I don't got that kind of money to tell Armani to make me a one-of-one custom outfit. But if you see me in person, I'm killing it in my own way. So, and I'm not spending a lot of money to do it most of the time either. So.
Hey, that's what I like about it. Like personally, I'm not even much of a brand name person and stuff. You can make anything work. So, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
fuck them brand names, especially if you're not black. Fuck them.
There you go. There you go. Well said. And it's the truth. And before you go, we did mention, we're going to play, the beginning track off of Sony Volume 3, Bandwagon Music. I chose that because it is kind of going back to your first album. I remember you were kind of explaining that. You kind of want to let, everybody kind of know about that, how that ties in.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Bandwagon Music, the first song on Sony Volume 3, is quite literally the perfect explanation of what the Sony series is about. Bandwagon Music was supposed to be, so let me backtrack really quickly. First album, 2010, Bandwagon Director's Cut, was a kind of a similar mindset, releasing music that was conceptualized but not necessarily meant for the same project. The goal was that Project 2, the Bandwagon, was going to be a full-length album, written, recorded, and produced around within the same time frame. But that didn't happen. But Bandwagon Music was one of the songs that was going to be a part of that. And so Bandwagon Director's Cut and then Bandwagon, right? Bandwagon never came out, and at this point will not come out. So I have so many ideas for so many projects that's just not a thing at this point. But with Bandwagon Music being on Sony Volume 3, it was literally kind of bringing it full circle. And the whole idea with the Bandwagon was at that time that at a certain point, I would accumulate a certain amount of fans and it's get in on the ground floor because we're going to be up here. You're going to be trying to get in. You're going to be like, yo, remember me from Hunter College? Remember me from high school? Remember me from wherever? And I'm going to be looking at you like, I remember you, but I remember that you weren't part of the mission when we was in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? When we was shooting in the gym. So that's the whole concept behind the Bandwagon. But Bandwagon Music was just an amazing song. Shouts to K. Scott, who's an extended family member who produced that beat. I'm gonna need him. I don't think he's gonna see this, but if he does, I'm gonna need you to do your job of promoting the song because it's actually a great song. But
Yes.
aside from that, shouts to him for making the beat. I hope he likes it. Maybe he doesn't like it. I don't know. But in my opinion, it's a great song nonetheless. And I'm happy that you chose that to close out with.
Hey, I'm glad too, and before we play it, are there any shout outs that you want to give?
Shouts to my partner Samantha, who always tunes into these lives from rooms away in our tiny railroad apartment in Hell's Kitchen. Shouts to the Goat Squad, King Virtue, Tony Doms, Guns, Mike Hoffa, DJ Unbreakable, Regular Cat. Who I was told myself maybe you don't want to do this because you don't want to forget people, and I got six. Shouts to Tricky Hayes. I'm forgetting two names right now. Why am I forgetting? Loretta's only Jesus Christ. Loretta's only I love you. Shouts to you. Shouts to Founder True Words. I'm forgetting one name, and you're either here. We'll put your name in the chat, or one of our members will do it. And I sincerely apologize. Oh my Jesus. Yours truly, the poet. Shouts to him. That was the one name I forgot. I blame that on King Virtue because he's ugly and nuts.
Oh,
Shouts to
dang.
them. Shouts to the certified family. Shouts to you, Samantha. Everything you do is inspirational, and I'm just thankful that the universe connected us. I will continue to support everything that you do. My hope is that I will have a collaboration with one or several of certified entertainment artists in 2023. And shouts to all the Sunni Goonies, everybody who supports in the small ways and the large ways. And shouts to my mom and them, my father for making such an amazing human being. And shouts to all the only children who want a certain amount of attention, but not all of it all the time. So that was for you, Samantha. Not you, Samantha. My Samantha.
Yeah, yep. Yep. Which look, she said, yep, she's
We
in
go
the
back and
building.
forth.
There we go.
We go
Right.
back and forth, only child versus youngest child. So that was a special shout, not to her, but about her. So
Got you. Hey, gotta love it. Gotta love it. And man, look, people are still like they are in the comments just showing love, and look, City the Great from Certified Nation Entertainment. Look, he's definitely already down for. He's already told me before, like he's definitely loves your bar work. So we can make a lot of this stuff, definitely happen. Me and my team, we definitely support the Goat Squad, everything that you're doing. Looking forward for 2023 and just to continue to support. And, definitely shout out to everybody who tapped in on the live, shared it, watched the replays. It was definitely dope. Definitely big shout out to you, for just gracing this platform. This was a wonderful episode for sure to close out the year.
shout outs to you for giving me the platform to grace. That is not taken for granted. So thank you for that. Thank you for like some people do this, and I'm guilty of it from in the past, many moons ago when I've done it. And they don't take the time to do the research. They just book people, and then they're just like, okay, we'll figure it out on the fly. But like I said, when seeing those notifications, I automatically knew it was you doing your research. And as my partner Samantha said earlier, it shows in the questions you ask. So I'm very like I have my partner from a undergraduate collective that she was in. They have this phrase called warm fuzzies. And I have a warm fuzzy right now thinking about like how appreciative I am that you really took the time to not just book me, but also to like do the research and do the things. And it makes the interview much more meaningful because then I get to like really talk about things that you saw and struck your fancy, your curiosity. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate you again for that. And I don't take that lightly at all, Samantha.
Oh, no, you're more than welcome. I truly care, about the work and the grind and everything you're doing. And that's the point of this show. You get in your shine. And of course, I'm going to do my due diligence and research. People don't do their research. It's
Right.
just it's not right to me. It's like if you truly cared, you take the time to do your research, look at everything, look at bios that's written up,
Right.
link trees. Check all of that out. You have to do your
Right.
research if you're truly caring about the person. So,
Right. Right.
that's
Right.
And that's what I'm always going to do. That's what it's about. This is the thing, you know, I love to learn about, you know, you. I like everybody to tap into you, get your story heard. And hey, this is what we do. This regular Cat Convo just said it. That's what us great podcast hosts do. And by the way, you have an interview
You said
on
it.
his show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Break it down. What time tomorrow? That way I can tap in on there.
8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be on IG Live for Regular Cat Radio, talking about Sony Volume 3. Shouts to Regular Cat. This will not be the first time that I'm on his live, but he, like you, is an amazing interviewer, an amazing researcher, and also very much like you, very passionate about hip-hop culture, and will do whatever it takes to spread the word about good music, period. And that's why he is my brother. I love him for it. You are not sending family Samantha, because again, this was just such an amazing interview, and I cannot stress enough how I do not take it lightly to have the opportunity to talk about myself and my music, especially with people who give a fuck enough to like take the time to do the research. And so thank you, and I'm glad that you enjoyed the things you did. And yeah, this time next year we're gonna be talking about like collaborations across, you know, collectives, you know what I'm saying? So all of the 6 artists that you manage, Shitty the Great, myself, and Ghost Squad members, whomever, but it's going down, and King Virtual on the beat, so I'm looking forward to that.
It's definitely going down. This is what real hip hop is about, coming together, preserving this culture. That's what more of us need to be doing, so this is what we're going to do.
Yep. Absolutely.
For sure. So again, it was a dope episode. You know, we're going to close out, you know, with bandwagon music. So definitely everybody stay tuned, take a listen, you know, to that. Definitely follow SoSoon at SoSoon on IG. Tap into him for sure. If you need any links to his Bandcamp, either reach out to me or him, and we got you for sure. All right, so peace and love, everybody. Yeah, thanks everyone.
We there, we going for you know it. Give thanks. We there, number 8. Going for you know it. The bandwagon's board. We going for you know it. We gonna start real slow. For you know it. Go. From the bus to the train to the jet to the stage to the check. So fly, so fresh. And now rocking with the neck. All aboard to this bandwagon movement. All aboard to this bandwagon movement. Let's move in. Welcome to the bandwagon, welcome to the bus. Bow for a quick prayer, in the Lord we trust. Some success seen from the scenes that were cut. Back against the wall, it seems the only way is up. Up and away, cause we played with a purpose. Cherry red interior, wood grain surface. Heated leather seats, window panes, green curtains. No expense, I'm just saying you deserve it. This is for the misses who remain when I was worthless. To the game, dedicated and determined. I remain through the pain, the deterrence. Fuck fame, I just wanna be a better service. Every word in every song perfectly worded. So every dollar made, I've certainly earned it. Welcome to the feeling of money ain't a thing. Wave by to the regular, welcome to the game. Wave by to the regular, welcome to the game. Wave by to the regular, welcome to the game. Wave by to the regular, welcome to the game. Hey, yeah. We here, we there, we gone for you know it. We here, we there, we gone for you know it. We here, we there, we gone for you know it. Gone for you know it, gone. From the bus to the train to the jet to the stage to the check. So fly, so fresh. And now rocking with the next. All aboard to this bandwagon movement. 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 From the bus to the train to the jet to the stage to the check. One check, two. So fly, so fresh. You're still rocking with the next. All aboard to this bandwagon movement. 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 Welcome to the bandwagon, welcome to the rush. Welcome to the fly life, welcome to the lust. The women are pretending pretentious. The niggas are schmucks, both never gave a damn. Now everybody gives a fuck. Fuck the ones who gave up. Matter of fact, fuck that. Your lack of presence was a plus. Shout out to the niggas on the scene who are stuck in the barrel with the crabs. Now I have you for lunch. Yum. Think struggling is tough. Try juggling success when everybody wants a cut of a piece of the pie, a piece of the crust. I decline it's all reserved for those who came through in the clutch. So welcome to the bandwagon, welcome to the train. Welcome to the airport, welcome to the plane. Welcome to the feeling of money ain't a thing, buying priceless art just to shred it in its frame. Welcome to the feeling of a champion's ring. Success is subjective, but how could I complain? Welcome to the feeling of money ain't a thing. Wave by to the regular, welcome to the game. We here, we there, we gone for you know it. We here, we there, we gone for you know it. We here, we there, we gone for you know it. Gone for you know it, gone. From the bus to the train to the jet to the stage to the chat. Hey, my check, nigga. So fly, so fresh. You're now rocking with the next. All aboard to this bandwagon movement. 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 The bus, the train, the jet, the stage, the chat. So fly, so fresh. You're still rocking with the next. All aboard to this bandwagon movement. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, this bandwagon is at full capacity. We are taking off. Please buckle your seatbelts.
It's New York law. I'm a law-abiding citizen.